one of the topics we were talking about covering a little bit too is kind of TRT plus and TRT add-ons, and the dark side of optimization and how things can kind of slip the wrong way. I had an interesting I had another provider kind of reach out to me for some advice. Said they had a patient of theirs they had for maybe, I forget how long it was for. It wasn't very long, but reached out and said they wanted to try their hand at bodybuilding. There wasn't something they were doing before. They were working out, doing some other sports, and now this guy wants to said he wanted to use Anavar and Nandrolone along with his testosterone. And he said, "Hey, I'm just being straight with you here, since you're my provider. I trust you. And what do you think?" So this provider contacted me and said, "Hey, what do you do in this situation? He's a nice guy. I'm glad that he's being honest with me. I'm glad he's being straight. And, I'd like to keep caring for him, but I also don't want to condone this and suggest that he does this. I'm sure not going to prescribe it for him." So I thought that was an interesting take. So I gave some advice back, but what's your what's your take on that?
What was your advice?
So my advice was, I don't believe in health criminals in other parts of medicine, or we don't treat other people like health criminals. So if someone comes to me and they tell me they're drinking too much alcohol, they're doing, whatever, they're smoking meth, they're shooting fentanyl, do I just say, "Oh, sorry, you can't tell me about this. You're fired. You're not my patient anymore"? So why would I do that to this guy? Right? I mean, I'm not going to coach him on doing it. "No, man, you're doing it wrong. Here's how you do it, and we're going to run through it." I'm not going to give you that kind of advice, but I'm going to, as safe as you can be without hurting yourself.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to say, I don't want you, not the best idea, but yeah, say health criminals shouldn't be a thing.
That's pretty much how I would have approached it too. I think we're all adults here, and we're all old enough to make the decisions that we should be able to make. And I think if somebody makes a conscious decision and that's the realm they want to go in, I certainly think they should know the risks associated for that. But I'm certainly also not going to try and badmouth them or talk down to them for wanting to make a decision for themselves. Mm-hmm. And really, I would just list out, here's the pros, here's the cons. You have to decide if that's worth it for you at this stage of life. And again, I'm not going to offer advice or coach or whatever, because that's not really what we're focusing on here. Specifically in our clinic, we're more focused on your health span as a whole.
My kind of discussion is say if that patient was with me, I kind of tell them look, I don't care what you do with your body. It's your body, and what I kind of get all right, what are your goals with this? If it's purely aesthetic, then it's all right, well, do your time. I can do some risk mitigation stuff, watch your lipids, help you with blood pressure, but I'm not going to prescribe you testosterone to go along with it, because now that's my name on, a controlled substance, and you're actively harming yourself. And, my kind of speech a lot of times is if you're not putting food on the table for your family with your body or anything, it's just not worth the risk.